I want to talk about, again, why it's so important to take action and live along the lines of how you would live if you were recovered before you're actually recovered. And why it's so important for your family members and the people around you and your loved ones, your husband, your wives, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your best friends, to think you are recovered before you're maybe even close to recovery. And you're thinking, but that's so unhealthy. But is it so unhealthy? I don't think it is. I think I have a good handle on this because I work with OCD all day, every day. And I see the most severe cases. And the people that learn to wear those emotions and not speak about it and hold that in, I cannot tell you how much that benefits their journey. And I'm going to talk all about how I lived my life, what I needed to work on, the stuff I needed to hone my skills into, resilience, building frustration tolerance, looking at the realities of life, and how that all came together as I was chipping away at my beliefs. So before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button down below. Let me know what you think about this video. I'm almost done with my only coffee of the day. You know, these ones, Starbucks cold brew, probably my favorite cold brew, seriously. And that's how you learn more about the one-to-ones and the webinars. And the webinars are a blast. They're a lot of fun. They're no substitute for the one-to-ones. The one-to-ones are very detailed, and there's a lot of notes that I take, email notes. So, and if we see you at one of those, I hope we see you because they are a lot of fun. So, as you're transitioning from having no idea what you're doing to having a semi idea of what you're doing, which is still non-recovered, okay? And let's forget the word recovery for a second. Let's just look at progress, okay? Because then with recovery, we think recovery is a line. Recovery is actually a playing field, an open playing field. And there's a lot of different places you could go inside of that recovery space. You know, once you're quote unquote recovered, there's different stages of that. How I was 2 years ago in a recovered state of sensory motor is not even close to where I am today, 24 months later, and probably won't even be anywhere close to where I could be in 5 years from now. The progress, Rob and myself talk about this, the progress that we make now on a month-to-month basis is almost as if it's an entire year packed into 2 weeks. So if I want to change something, Ray Dalio talks about in his amazing book called Principles, that usually takes 18 months or so to change a habit. That is very true, or longer. But once you have worked on habits and you're really good at action and high resilience, that's skewed towards the downside. I can make extreme habitual changes in weeks. I'm not saying I'm not feeling discomfort along that in a healthy sense, not in the chronic discomfort, but it certainly doesn't take me 18 months to get things right anymore. But I've also been working on this for almost 5 years, all sorts of different habits. So everyone knows that my biggest fears were sensory motor primarily, swallowing saliva, primarily blinking, tinnitus, IBS symptoms, pain type of sensations, neck tension, really bad physical symptoms of GAD. I had 24/7 anxiety from the moment my eyes opened to the moment I went to sleep for years. My stomach was destroyed, blurry vision. I had depersonalization and derealization, which is just a completely different skewed of your vision for a very, very, very long time. I had very bad body dysmorphia, all the clothing compulsions, counting my macros, the bodybuilding compulsions, taking anabolic steroids, not taking my shirt off. I did not look in the mirror head on with my shirt off without a pump for over 10 years. For over 10 years. If I was in the ocean, if I was in a pool, I'd stay in the water to my neck. I never was laying in a beach chair. I was so afraid of how my body looked, not in a pumped sensation, that I had so many compulsions. I would do no cardio, etc. So, when I started out, my life was a complete fucking train wreck. Gained 50 pounds, so with 22, 23 kilograms. I don't know what that is in stones. Is it 3.5 stones? I don't know. So, that wasn't eating or I was binging. Smoking vape all day, watching porn an hour or more every day since I was like 17 years old, lots of cheating compulsions on my wife, terrible relationship skills, communication skills, that's in relationship skills, wasn't working. Everything in my life was a shortcut. So if I was doing a patient note in my chiropractic, shortcuts, wasn't really paying attention, all sorts of gym compulsions, changing rep schemes, changing time under tension, changing my entire program itself, counting my macros. So I had a lot of room to grow because I knew that my beliefs, which were, if I'm fat and I don't have any muscle and if I'm ugly, this is the worst thing ever. If I'm anxious for the rest of my life, this is horrible because that will destroy my muscle growth. It will make me bloated, plus the overall fear of having that. If I'm stuck with sensory motor for the remainder of my life, it's going to end my life early because I'm going to commit suicide. I won't be able to handle it. And then other things wishing and washing throughout the way. Guilt and shame hit me tiny bits, but it wasn't a primary thing. But it doesn't mean I didn't need to work on unconditional self-acceptance, because that's what body dysmorphia is. So people are always looking for reasons to not take action. They want to wait until they're feeling better. This is understandable. Analysis paralysis is the number one reason behaviorally why people don't make progress. Now, one of my biggest pet peeves is the statement, knowledge is power. I was at the graduation last night for someone I know. They're graduating from their degree and in their field, in medical. And they talked about knowledge is power, knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. And not even close. It's the beginning to open up the doorway to some sort of power. But power is, you could know very little. Your knowledge basis could be this small and your application is this wide. You have the chances of achieving way more than people that have knowledge. I know a lot of people who have knowledge on a lot of different things, but they don't do anything with it. I mean, take me for an example. I love economics, but I'm a straight realist. I don't, there's no sugarcoating in my life for myself or with the people I coach. Of course, compassion, empathy is there. Everyone that knows that I coach and joking around. But take economics. I love economics. I love everything about macro data. I like charting. I like hearing about it. We were driving last night listening to gold ratios. And Erica was like, she's like, I'm gonna jump out the car. This is so boring. I don't really use that in my life per se, besides like my basic stuff I do in my life, my investments, my career. But I don't work in finance, but I still understand that that's not pushing my life forward that much. So many people, like when you watch the Rogans of the world or the Hubermans of the world, you're never going to apply 99.9% of the stuff that they talk about. That doesn't mean the knowledge behind it is cool, but when are you going to use it? At a party, in the gym, talking to your homie about how you know this new statistic? How do I know? Because I live that. That's not inherently bad, but that's not actually what's pushing you in the right direction. So you don't need a lot of information to start making action, okay? Let's say you open up a sales business, okay? Let's make it very easy. You're selling pencils. You're selling this pencil right here. Remember Wolf of Wall Street at the end? Sell me this pen. This is a nice pen that has a nice color. But you're selling this pen. You could read 100 books on sales that you have the knowledge, but unless, okay, you could literally write down what you need to do on this sticky note. I'm going to call suppliers. I'm going to go and market. I'm going to do these things. Stuff that takes actionable steps day in, day out. When I fail, I'm going to keep trying. When people talk shit about me, I'm going to keep going. So what does that look like for OCD? You need to read the books almost every single day. I don't give a single shit how tired you are. Okay? I get it. I was there. I didn't do it. When it comes to, say, gaining weight, I was very obese, right? 5'7", what is that, 170? I've been telling people I was 175 centimeters. I was at the gym the other day with the powerlifting conversions, and I said, I'm 170 centimeters, son of a gun. So I was almost 220 pounds. And it wasn't because there's systemic obesity issues or I ate too much food and moved too little. That was Nicholas's fault. No one else's my fault. It wasn't the food industry's fault. It was my fault. I'm the one that became a fat ass by eating way too much. So if I wanted to change that, I needed to decrease my calories while increasing my exercise expenditure in a balanced way, whilst accepting that even if I was fat, even if I had a gut and I could grab and all that, it's still nothing. It looks funny when you do that, right? Like with all that stuff, I can't believe, I'm telling you, you did that 3 years ago, I've been convulsing on the ground. So you got to read the books on the reading list. You got to go back to work. I don't want to hear it. There's a lot of tough love in this video. I can't work this. We live in 2024. The amount of opportunities to work from home are insane. I mean, I have 2 assistants in my business that work from home. 2 people that do scheduling and insurance stuff, and they work from their house. So there's a lot of things you can do, a lot of different things. So working, getting back to work, decreasing complaining, not talking about your OCD. Like I said, Erica thought I was recovered way before I was recovered because I would drive home at night, sit in my car. Many people have heard me say this, and I said, you are not going to speak about anything with OCD. I would have some bad days, right? Be like, how was your day? My day was great. Wow, you had a good day? My day was amazing. I'm doing so much better. My beliefs are changing. I'm feeling better. Inside, I felt like a fraud. I felt like a liar, but it was so part of my recovery journey. So important, so important. And then I had to engage with life again, socializing. I had to go out there. I had to do things. This does not require large amounts of knowledge. It requires large amounts of building resilience and taking action over and over and over and over and over. I'm telling you, the people that have this much knowledge, but this much application are going to be way more important in their own lives than people that have watched every Joe Rogan episode and every Huberman podcast episode and they know everything about the body and everything about the prefrontal cortex and neurons and synapses and the amygdala and all that stuff, and they have no application in their life. I know people that have read plenty of books on habits, The Power Habit, Atomic Habits, and I'm telling you, I was this person. I am talking about myself in the third person. That is the third person, right? Yes, I think so. It's not the second person, it's the third person. And I knew a bunch of stuff. I knew the data. But then when you looked at my life, sleeping in, porn, cheating, overeating, compulsive usage of video games. So you could know a lot, but if you don't apply any of that, it's worthless. It's worthless knowledge. It's fun, but it's worthless in the sense of how it's going to move your life forward in a productive way to get you the things that you want. You could read all the books on parenting, but if you don't have kids and you don't live with that, then your chance of knowing about that are going to be very small. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Phil at OCDrecovery.com. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope to hear from you soon. There's a lot of hope, a lot of help. Rob posted one of my earlier messages in the WhatsApp groups the other day when I was stuck with COVID in 2020, February, so over 4 years ago, and it was crazy. The message said, I'm going to hang myself in my basement with my belt. I don't want to live. I mean, it was crazy to see that. So there's hope you can get better. So I hope to hear from you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.